Right. Hello and welcome. So I recently came across a YouTube channel called Big Ward the Genius, and in this particular video, Ward is going to show us a clip of some information that he's come across that's got him thinking that our votes don't matter and he may not vote at all in this election. So we're going to watch this together, and I'm going to give some commentary, and we will go from there.
Got a clip that I want y'all to watch that will pretty much explain why I'm thinking the way I'm thinking, that I might not vote at all. That I might not vote at all, y'all. And I might say, Big Ward, you got to vote, man. We got to vote. We got, democracy, what have you. I want y'all to listen to this.
We have to put this within its proper political context. The United States government is not controlled by neither the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. They are simply the public government. The president, the Congress, the Supreme Court, they are the public government. But there is a private government, and that private government includes, but is not limited to, the National Security Agency, the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Federal Reserve, and the Bilderberger Group. And the Bilderberger Group we need to pay particular attention to, because the Bilderberger Group, in my opinion, at this moment in history, I believe is the most influential of all of the secret societies. It was the Bilderberger Group that made Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton come to a truce back during the Obama years when he was running for president and the Democrats were struggling over whether to nominate Obama or nominate Hillary Clinton. They both had to go and sit in the Bilderberger meeting and receive their marching orders. So I found it rather interesting that President Obama has surfaced as being one of the leading Democrats who influenced President Biden to step down. There's a strong possibility that it was the Bilderberger Group who gave Barack Obama the instructions to tell his good friend Joe Biden to stand down.
So basically, where we're going with this is something that I've thought for many years, and a lot of y'all have probably felt the same way. Just can't prove it. But rational, common sense thinking people, a lot of us have thought the same way. That the president and all those people in government are controlled by somebody other than us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of us has felt this way for a long time, and in fact that makes me think of this George Carlin clip. We're going to watch this real quick. Let's pull this up. Here we go.
Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else.
Yeah, that's about it. All right, but let's get back to Ward.
He's going to explain why they want us to think we're choosing our president and our leaders. But when in all actuality, the money, the power structure behind the scenes determine who run what. Let's get back to it.
America is not a democracy. The people do not choose the president. Presidents are publicly confirmed by the Electoral College. It is the Electoral College that votes for the president, not the people. So, for example, you beat me in Pennsylvania for the popular vote for president of the United States. You clearly won the popular vote. The electorals for the state of Pennsylvania, 99.9% of the time, will vote for you to be president because you carried the popular vote. But they are not required to do so by constitutional law. And the reason they are not required to do so by constitutional law is the United States government is not a democracy. It is a republic. It is not the rule of the majority. It is the rule of law. That's why the word democracy is not in the Constitution. The word democracy is not in the preamble. The word democracy is not in the Declaration of Independence. The word democracy cannot be found in any of the 50 state constitutions of this country. This is not a democracy. It is not the rule of the majority. It is a republic, the rule of the law. And who controls the republic? The aristocracy, the elite financial powers of this country. That's who really chooses the president. Now, if that is the case, why so much attention is put on the popular vote? Because since this is not a democracy, it is important to keep the illusion of inclusion alive and well. When people don't think they have a say in government, they overthrow it. When people don't think they have a say in government, they spark revolution. When people don't think they have a say in government, rebellions happen. So it is important for the power structure, the media, the corporate oligarchy to manipulate the American collective consciousness into voting for the person they pre-selected.
It all makes sense to me. It makes sense to a lot of y'all. I constantly see in the comment section, when we're talking politics or whatever, I see a lot of people comment, Big Ward, both parties are trash. Big Ward, which I know that. Your vote don't count, man. Them people, there's other folks picking the president, the elite, the people with money, the people behind the scenes. They determine who the president gonna be. Those groups he named at the beginning of this video. There's people with more money than God, as Forrest Gump said. That's who run everything, y'all. They not doing the will of the people, which is us, which the majority of people don't want to be over there in Ukraine. The majority of people didn't want to be in Iraq. The majority of people didn't want to be in Afghanistan. But they was doing it anyway. So therefore, it wasn't about what the people wanted. It was about what was best for the power structure that we don't see, that we don't know who it is. But the people that we see every day, the president or whatever, they just put out front for us to look at and to complain about and fuss at that damn Democrat, that damn Republican, blah, blah, when really they're both being controlled behind the scenes. It's becoming more clearer now. But let's continue.
When people start to see that we really don't control this government, we really don't choose our leaders, they start to rebel. And that's why so much energy is put into the popular vote, because it needs to confirm the selection of the secret government.
So there you have it. Something I've been thinking for a long time, for years now. I just didn't want to believe. I've heard other people say it. Y'all have heard other people say it. You probably thought it yourself. Man, we ain't picking the president, man. Your vote don't count. Them folks ain't thinking about your vote. I ain't voting. Your vote don't count. And then you got people running, no, man, you got to vote. Your vote count. If you don't vote, don't complain. And that, you know. And I always feeling like, man, something ain't right with this process. Ain't no way the majority of Americans picked that guy. Ain't no way they picked him. Them folks are being chosen for us to do what somebody else wanted them to do, not us. See, the country's in shambles right now, and it's been in shambles. And the things that it would take to fix this country, the majority of y'all know what it is, what needs to be done, common sense stuff, but they won't do it. The best and the brightest with all the education, all of the degrees, all the experience, it's like they can't figure out how to fix the economy. They can't figure out how to get out of these wars, how to stop going to war. They can't figure this stuff out, just minding your business, leaving people alone. They can't figure it out. They get it. They're doing what they're being instructed to do, which ain't got nothing to do with what we want. They got to keep up the illusion that we put them in office. Because like my brother said, If we wake up and realize that our vote ain't counting and that there's some people picking out people for us instead of us, we'll rebel. It will cause a revolution, and they will lose their power. So they got to keep us thinking that we are involved in selecting our leaders, when the truth is we're not. So I might not even vote at all, y'all. I'm not sure.
All right. We've got a lot of variables at play here. You guys are all familiar with the political landscape right now. It's like if you vote for Trump, you're voting for the next Hitler. If you vote for whoever is going to be the Democratic pick, then you're voting for the globalist elites. And it's just like you're screwed either way, whoever you vote for. And then, why vote at all if they're all tyrants anyhow? So what do you do about that? So the way that I'm looking at this, however you choose to vote, you're just choosing who it is that you want to go do business with. Who are you going to basically engage? That's a better way of doing it. Who are you going to engage? Which party, which representative do you feel most comfortable saying, holding them accountable to the things that they're pledging, and then also saying, hey, this is what we need. Deliver it. Which one would you rather engage? Pick that, but then you engage. That's the thing that we got to do. We need to engage. And that brings me to the next part. How do we go about doing that? I mean, in all honesty, writing to your representatives, that seems to just not fucking matter. And then you got these organizations that he's talking about: Trilateral Commission, Council on Foreign Relations, Bilderberg Group. Think about that. These are massive institutions that are cultivating and training leaders and supplying them with policies, and then they then get inserted into our civilization, our medical system, our education system, the government. Where is the general public's version of that kind of training, that kind of pipeline, that mechanism that allows us to produce real leaders? We don't have that. You would think that it's going to be our schooling system, but that's been corrupted and dumbed down, and that's not what's happening. And I don't see reforming that happening fast enough. So we're going to have to figure out how to educate one another and organize and do that real quick. So regardless of who you vote for, thank you for voting. Please engage. That said, that makes me think of this an interview with Bret Weinstein and Tucker Carlson, and Bret is basically talking about the same thing that Ward is covering here. Let's give this a listen.
Let's just put it this way. We have a large global population. Most people have no useful role through no fault of their own. They have not been given an opportunity in life to find a useful way to contribute. And I wonder if the rent-seeking elites that have hoarded so much power are not unhooking our rights because effectively they're afraid of some global French Revolution moment as people realize that they've been betrayed and left without good options. Is that what we're seeing?
I think that's exactly where we're headed. It's either going to be that revolution, or it's going to be we're captured in some kind of a global tyranny, is what it's looking like. I would rather not see a ridiculously bloody and violent revolution. I like the idea of, just as a virus can infect a cell and start changing how the proteins are encoded, and you get like an autoimmune disease, that we can be like a cure in a similar kind of a sense, where we can start cultivating real leadership at the grassroots level, work our way up, and take over our institutions without destroying them, right? I don't like the idea of destroying the body with the disease. That's no good, right? Let's cure the problem here. So I think a big part of that is going to come down to people like me and you likely watching this, getting an education on civics and how to get organized and what it takes to run our country and how to get involved at different levels and work our way up. And we need to start getting together to produce our own institutions that can start producing minds that are able to question the leadership and the policies that are being shoved down our throats by these larger organizations like the Bilderberg Group and the Council on Foreign Relations, etc. So, we're going to let George Carlin take us out here. I think he did a really good, this is a pretty good recap of what we need to be doing.
But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right.
Yeah, that's where we got to go. We got to build that. I'm looking to get involved in that. I have no idea where to get started other than getting in front of this stupid camera and looking like an idiot trying to make a video. This is not my forte. I'm not trying to make a YouTube channel for likes and subscribes and all that shit. I just want to get connected with people who are doing something, and I can get sucked into whatever it is that you're up to and contribute to that momentum and hopefully make a contribution myself. So I'm looking for like-minded people. I'm looking for something that's actually rolling. So if you guys can help me find that, I'd appreciate it, and I'll share what I learned with you all. But we've got to get engaged. We've got to get educated. We've got to get engaged, because this is it's been a big problem for many generations. I think of it this way. We were all born into a world that's been turning for a long time before any of us got here. And the families that were able to pass on the histories and the knowledge of all those dealings of power from generation to generation, over time, those are the ones who have continuity. They have the bigger picture, the bigger understanding, the networks, and it just naturally evolved from there. And those of us, like myself, who didn't come from a family with that type of connection, we are the peons, right? We're just the cogs in the machine, and no more of that. We need to be actual citizens and learn how to take the reins of our own country and pilot it. And we got to do that competently. All right, that's enough. Thank you all very much for listening, and send any information that you can, and more videos to come with some solutions as well.